freaky friends. This is Colleen.
And this is Margaret.
And we're the Cousins Weird. And we're here for a terrible trend.
And we're not live because neither one of us have brushed our hair today.
I did brush it.
I did. I finger combed mine.
But I didn't do much of anything else.
I'm wearing my sweatpants because I can't really wear much of anything else because of my broken ankle.
And I wear my Trixie Katya shirt, which is my favorite
I'm wearing a Halloween cat moon shirt with a gold lame cat moon.
I don't think that has to be Halloween. That's
I don't think so.
Everyday shirt
it
in
is.
my book. So we're terrible trending. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I have a lot of allergy things happening right now, so my voice is kind of sounded raspy like I smoke, but I don't. I don't do that. So today's terrible trend is about the bizarre beauty practices of ancient Rome.
Ooh, good.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, much of history, we've talked about beauty standards in history, and a lot of it is what's desirable is pale, smooth complexions. That's no different in ancient Rome. That was their ideal standard of beauty because it was a status thing like anything else. You can't be doing manual labor outside if you're a pasty, pale person. And your
now
skin,
it's tan. People want you to be tan now.
But that was kind of difficult because if you think about in Rome, women were very olive complected. So pale wasn't something, and I'm sure they tan very easily. They have that complexion, and I don't.
That's because where they lived.
Yeah,
their
and it made
skin
sense.
Was made for that area where it's like,
and you know that's okay. You're beautiful. Be happy with yourself, but we never can be happy with ourselves. So they had to use cosmetics.
This is a side note. We're recording at my parents' house, right? And they have a landline, and I'm serious. We've been here for an hour, and my mom has gotten like 5 phone calls.
Yes,
5 phone. I don't think I get 5 phone calls a week.
No, I don't. And if you're calling me, you better be really hurt because I do not want a phone call.
Because we and even Colleen, if I need to tell her something, I sent her a Facebook voice message clip.
She knows. We don't call.
Unless it's important.
Really important. And I know I better answer. Because if you know me and you call me, I know because this has to be important, I'll answer.
Because I'm like, if something's in depth, I don't want to text it all out. I just need it.
I voice message a lot.
And then I said, we'll look, it'll be all voice messages back.
Well, and you know, that makes it easier because you don't know at that moment if I have time to have a conversation. Right. But I can hear it. And then if I have a chance, I can respond to you when I can.
Because anybody who listens to this podcast knows once Colleen and I get going, it could be hours.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not good sometimes. I mean, it's good.
It's good, but, you know. Sometimes you have other things to do. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so they developed some I'm putting this in quotation, cosmetics and skincare that helped achieve the fair complexion they wanted and the smooth skin.
Gladiator sweat.
They made this stuff, they called it, I don't know if I'm saying this right, cerussa, which is sugar of lead, where they poured vinegar over white lead shavings. Even though they knew this was not a good thing to do to your skin, they wanted white skin so bad that was okay.
God.
When the lead dissolved, they ground it up and made cakes, basically, and they used the powder to powder their face. Kind of like what our compacts pressed powder would be. It's like that. There was a less toxic method called melinum, which was marl clay mixed with calcium carbonate. But our good friend Pliny the Elder said that's far too greasy. You don't want to use that because we really should be taking beauty advice from Pliny the Elder.
That asshole.
Yeah.
Because that's what we have to say. Pliny the Elder, that asshole.
That asshole. So there was a poet at the time named Ovid, and apparently he had a lot of influence on women's beauty standards because we know old white men like to tell people how they should look, apparently. He was a poet, and he was a very
white men.
Yeah, he was a very. If he had a TikTok, he'd be an influencer. Like he had a lot of say, and
Pliny?
people listened to him. No, this is Pliny and Ovid.
Oh yeah,
a poet. Yes. It's just weird. So he recommended.
Oh no.
That you should use crocodile dung as a facial whitener. Because why not?
because it's white. It's not white. It's brown. It's poop.
Maybe I couldn't figure out what they saw.
I have seen white dog turds on the ground.
So maybe
they just wait till it gets moldy and then they scrape that.
I couldn't find much more other than that, like what actually they did, but it was crocodile poop.
I mean, I could see seagull poop. That's pretty white.
Yeah,
I don't want to put any kind of dung on my face.
No. Now, all the methods that I spoke of that they said to use were not waterproof. So the second you sweat, it's running down your face.
And they're in a hot climate.
Yeah.
Not good.
Mm-hmm. They also were very much told people that you need to take your makeup off at night, which is wise advice. You should be washing your face at night. But don't do what they did, okay? So at night, they had to remove the makeup they put on, and they had to apply creams and poultices to make their skin beautiful. Which these things also contained dangerous ingredients that would damage the skin, like lead damages your skin. So don't worry, there was a solution for you were creating more problems with your skin, but that's okay because they had a solution for it. And it is called alute, which are little leather patches that applied over the sores and scars and any pits on your face that is created from the stuff you're putting on your face.
Oh my God.
So you just take these little leather patches and just stick them on your face, and you're absolutely fine then. They actually became so popular, these little leather patches. They became like a height of fashion that women who had perfect skin were sticking them on their skin because it was cool to have these little leather patches stuck to your skin.
That's like those weird patches in like bourgeoisie France. They had the little skin patches with the stars, and they'd stick them on their face.
I kind of like that, but this was just little...
They had white lead paint on their face, too.
They did, and that's probably why they put those on, to cover a sore.
And the bird cages and lard in their hair.
Yeah, and they had rats in their hair. Yeah. Now, cosmetics and perfumes went hand in hand at the time, and mostly the perfumes because some of the cosmetics were so pungent in odor, you had to try to cover it.
Yeah.
And the worst was the nightly wool sweat treatment they applied to their face. Smelled so bad that they had to douse themselves in perfumes before they went to bed. They said that if you use this nightly, your skin will brighten. It'll slough all the dull skin off. So sweaty wool shoved on your face at night. And it smelled so bad that you had to cover yourself in perfume.
Off a sweaty ass sheep.
Yes.
Or a sweaty sheep's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. They also told women, now Ovid was very big on this, you cannot allow the men to know. You know, ever seen that video that girl's like, we can't let the men know we contour our face, or we'll consider us witches, or something like that. Like, he's like, you can't let men know what you're doing. You have to do this in private and hidden. You have to go behind closed doors. Men should not see what goes into your appearance. You should just come out of looking like that.
Hideous with patchy leather patches and white paint on your face.
So don't let your man know. So you better go get up early before him, put the stuff on, and then take the wool sweat off, put on this other stuff. Is that
like the precursor to the pimple patches that they have now?
Right? But these actually made it worse instead of better.
This pimple patches actually are good for your pimples.
This was actually making your sores worse. Yes. Your sores started from the lead you put on your face, and now you're adding sweaty leather over top of it.
It's probably not clean.
No. So, Margaret, you can also thank your buddy Pliny the Elder and this poet Ovid for having to shave off body hair. Because they said body hair on a woman was not attractive. And if you wanted to be attractive, you must get rid of all of it.
But you had to have long eyelashes or you were...
Yes, or you were a whore. Woman. Yeah. So, women then were removing body hair. They didn't shave. They were either plucking it. Can you imagine? Yes. Using pumice stone scraping, burning it off, or waxing with resin, which is kind of genius. Really,
the sugar, like resin waxing and sugar waxing things that they did back then.
Yeah, and that actually is, it would work.
Because you can cook like syrup down so it's sticky.
And I think like that's actually probably the best way if I was going to do it back then. Like, don't pluck. Can you imagine plucking your leg hair?
Sugaring, they use the same recipe now.
I bet.
It's like sugar and water and lemon juice.
Yeah, and they just smear it on you and you rip it off.
I am fond of waxing because I wax people and I wax myself. And I will never shave my birds again.
Let me just tell you. You do not owe it to anyone to remove your body hair.
Nope.
If you like it for you, do it. But you don't owe any person in your life If you want your armpit hair to be long, you let it grow. If you want your leg hair, you don't have to do that.
Long right now.
I mean, I do it sometimes, and sometimes I don't. I do it when I feel like it, and I don't do it for anyone but me. Yeah, so do it for yourself, not for. Don't feel like you have to because society tells you to. So then, beauty standards were long lashes, like we said. A monobrow, like a unibrow, was a beauty standard. Tiny noses, pale skin, blonde and auburn hair, and little to no body hair. So let's just think about what women in that area, Mediterranean, right?
Not a terrarium. It's Mediterranean, yes.
What did I say?
Terrarium.
I didn't mean that. Mediterranean.
Mediterrarium.
No, stop saying it!
We're going to say it wrong all the time now. Mediterranean.
Yes.
Yes.
Women there have thick, beautiful, dark hair, beautiful olive skin, maybe more of a pronounced profile.
Which I love.
Yes, gorgeous. How are they to obtain a tiny nose, pale skin, and blonde and auburn hair?
And you know what's funny? I have a small nose, but I love a big nose. And it's probably
the opposite of what you have.
I think it really is. People
get so self-conscious if they have a pronounced nose, and I'm like, oh, I love it.
I do too.
Adam Driver, give me that nose.
Yeah.
I love it. I think I don't know, I just think it's attractive on men and women. I don't have any problem. That's just me, but that's what I like.
But Julian Sands, he has
oh my God, Julian Sands, I was in love with him. He's got a...
I think he's still missing.
I can't even talk about that. It makes me so sad.
Yeah.
So these poor people were wandering around trying to... So they were they made using goat fat or something and some kind of stuff to bleach out the hair. They were...
Lemon juice.
Yeah, doing all this stuff to try to make themselves blonde or have red hair.
I think the Romans were the originators of Sun-In, weren't they?
Probably.
They had bountiful citrus.
It's true.
So.
And they use soot to thicken their eyebrows, which, your girl thickens her eyebrows too. And I don't use soot, I use brown powder, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with doing things because you like it, but society shouldn't dictate what you like about yourself.
Right.
And sadly, today, they were aspiring to beauty standards that were not attainable, really.
Right.
Unless you had to go on unnatural ways to do it, and a lot of times it harmed them because they had especially the cosmetics, and I'm using that in quotations because it wasn't, were damaging their skin and causing horrible problems and infections and all this stuff.
But because the men said, "Oh no, you need to put this on your face so you're more comely."
Yeah.
It's
that's exactly what I wrote was, today, they aspired to beauty standards that were not attainable and that were set by some old man. And that's what just think about everything in our...
Or some plastic surgery up old broad who has an expensive makeup line who says, "Oh, take my face cream because it's wonderful." It's why? Because it works so well for you. You had to have your face stretched. Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
I'm not saying that, you need to do plastic surgery. You do it. You do you. It's fine. But I'm just saying, as a consumer, I'm not going to spend...
Be transparent.
$80 on a face cream that this woman who's trying to sell me...
Oh, yes.
And has had so much cosmetic surgery. I don't trust what you're going to say to me because you obviously aren't either not using it or it didn't work.
Be transparent.
Right.
Don't say you didn't have work done if you did, because then you're setting up standards that people cannot attain naturally. And you're making people think, why can't my skin be that way? Be transparent about everything you do because you're hurting other people when you don't. Mm-hmm. And that's all. I don't care I don't begrudge anyone plastic surgery or not. I want to get this waddle fixed. I'll go get that tucked if I can afford it because I want to do that for myself.
I'm going to get rid of this right here.
Yeah, I want to do that for me, for my own, not for anyone else. It's because I want to.
Kybella.
I've heard that. Yeah.
It's injections.
Yeah.
You have to get multiple ones, but that's what.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about that is it's you pay a little bit here and then you pay, and then you know what I mean? It's
over time.
You don't have to pay all this money.
And you don't have to go under the knife. But that's the thing, I wouldn't tell people, I used a cream and it disappeared. I would say I had this done. Be transparent. Don't tell people that you used something to sell it and when you had surgery done.
Eventually might have to have an eye lift because of
hooded eyes.
But I have hooded eyes are something I've had my whole life. So, and I have like a big fat patch on my eye, and like I know like my mom has issues with it now. Like it sags and it weighs your eye down, and it's hard to open your eyes.
That's what happened. My Aunt Bobby, she ended up having to have eye lift because it was inhibiting her vision. She couldn't see, so they actually went in and did an eye lift for her. But sometimes you have to do it for medical reasons. Sometimes it's just because it makes you feel good about yourself, and that's totally fine.
I would love to be able to put like eyeshadow on, like a normal eyeshadow wearer.
But be transparent. You aren't going to tell someone, I just used this treatment on my eyes and it lifted it. You would say, I had surgery on it because I wanted to lift that up. Perfectly acceptable. But don't sell products saying that gave you the result, because it didn't.
Or like, I used this product in it. It looks like I have a facelift. It's because you had a facelift.
Exactly. Be transparent. Be honest.
Yes.
And don't let some old white man tell you what beauty is, because they don't know anything.
They know what they like, but
it's okay. Like, everyone has different tastes, and that's okay, but it doesn't mean that everyone has to be the way that person thinks they should be. Because the beauty of our world is that we all are a little different. A little bit different is beautiful. And I'm sure different. Mentally, too. So anyway, that's the brief history of the bizarre practices that they use, and how we've done it since then. How we've allowed men to tell us what we needed to do to be beautiful, and we need to stop. It's happened since ancient Rome, Margaret.
Oh, before then, probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
Since men
figured out how to say words, they were telling women what to do. And women...
It used to be women that told the men what to do, depending on the culture.
And those matriarchal societies were good, let me tell you.
Those Amazons, they knew what they were doing.
Amazonians. I'm tall enough to be an Amazon, I think. I don't think I am.
Colleen can join the Amazons, and I'll join the Pygmies.
Yeah.
The Pygmies were cannibals, though. I'd be a vegan.
Vegan pygmy?
A vegan pygmy. Nope.
Okay, friends. So if you should follow us, because I'll be putting pictures that I find from this episode on Facebook and Instagram. We're also going to be at AcreCon again this year, August 19th and 20th. So you want to follow us so you know which day we're going to go live, because we're going to have another live recording there, but we're going to have a table all weekend. So if you go to AcreCon, you can see us, come by our table and see us, because we love to see you guys and see your little faces.
Yes, if you'd like to reach out to us, please send us direct message your Facebook or Instagram on our page. You can like us while you're there and give us a rating, share our posts. You could also send us an email at thecousinsweird@gmail.com. If you'd like to share a story with us or suggest something to do, if you just want to reach out and say hi, please do it. We want to hear from you.
Reach out, but with your words, not your hands.
Yes, keep your hands to yourself.
If you want to support our podcast, always sharing it with your friends and telling people about us is the best way. But if you want to help us out to make help us out with our fees.
Yeah.
Because it costs money to have a podcast. You can go to patreon.com/thecousinsweird, and for $1 a month, you're a freaky friend, and you get a sticker and a bonus episodes. Not a bonus, but bonus episodes. And then if you're a terrible trender, it's for $5 a month. You get ad-free episodes, a free sticker, bonus episodes, a yearly gift, and a monthly Skype chat with us and any other Patreons that want to join in. And we just chat. There's no topic. We just chat about episodes you just heard recently, any bizarre stuff you have, weird stories, how your day was. We'll just talk. It's fun.
Yes. I think that's it.
I think so too.
Stay freaky.
Bye.
Bye.